And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Minecraft. Alright, we got one destabilized redstone, and now we've got one more bucket left, so let's pour that in. Kind of looks funny when it's pouring in, but as soon as it's done, blink, turns into a bucket. Alright, so we're going to go over here. And what do we use this for? Well, we use this for Signalum Blend. And there's 4 and 8. Now, how do we smelt this? Well, we need to use sand in order to smelt this, and it's a 1-to-1. So we happen to have some sand. And we need to use the induction smelter. Just the same thing we used other things for, and yeah, that doesn't take very long, so it's nice. So now that we have some signalum, what can we do with it? Well, we can make the signalum plated, well, let's make a signalum plated fluid duct, I think. Yep, signalum plated fluid duct. It's probably the best bet here, which needs the hardened fluid duct, which I don't have use for that. Pulverizer gives me copper back. So, of course, there's no upcraft system for regular fluid duct. Signalum plated fluid duct. That's what I want, which uses hardened fluid ducts. So what do those take? Well, those take Invar. So let's... I don't need many of these. Literally don't need many of these. And then we want the signalum plated. So I'm going to take just one set of these. Give me one more for luck, just so I have them. So what this is going to allow me to do is over here, we're going to pull this off. Maybe have one like that. So we're gonna put this here. What that is see the flux duct connects to it, because this thing can actually transmit power into here, which is nice. And then from here, we can do things with that fluid. So I'm going to put the tank right here. There it is. And I can push the fluid that this is going to get, which is essence. That's what we want. And it's going to push it into there. Do I have regular fluid duct? See, I don't need the signalum plated for this branch, but well, we'll use it anyway. And then we'll put a servo on there, indicate you indeed can pull out fluid, and we've got a place for you to go. The items that we're going to pull out of here are going to be varied, largely variegated items. You know, anything from bows to swords to helmets to, you know, just every type of mob drop we're going to get. So we're going to put a crate up there, and I need item ducts to pull out.
I'm excited for the arrows.
Yeah, arrows, thousands of arrows you'll be able to pull out of here. We are, do we want that? No, we don't want that. We want a regular one. Get over here. Get. I hate when they pop like that. I really do. Okay, because we'll use that reinforced one in a bit, because the stuff that goes in here is going to be just everything. The trash can is actually going to control what we don't want. So, actually, I should have kept that out. So I can do that, pull that. Hide all of this temporary setup. Okay. Keep it even. Whatever. We don't need to worry too much about it. The machine has power, and that's the important thing. For some reason, the signalum plated fluid duct is not reporting having any power, and I don't know why. I don't know why. It shouldn't. I don't know if that's just doesn't have any capacitance or what. So we're gonna put the trash can like here. We're gonna put an item duct here, and we're gonna have the reinforced servo. And the reason I wanted this to be a better servo than all the other ones is simply for the whitelist screen here to have more options. Because if you look, this only has 3 things that you can sort, whereas this one has a full 9. And then as you go up in level, you'll have more and more and more and more things that you can sort on. But because we have it as a white list and not a black list, and if it's an empty white list, it literally won't pull anything. So we can set that to ignored, and it won't pull anything. Now, if you set this to blacklist, it'll empty this whole crate out. So we don't want that. We want a few things, a few of the mob drops, because Enderman will spawn in here. That is a definite thing that will happen. So we'll get a little bit of ender pearls just passively in there. And the other thing I would like is, let's do a, let's see, redstone lamp. Let's try to get a redstone lamp. Ooh, we need glowstone for that. GLO. Luckily, we've been in the nether a couple times, and we've actually got a little bit of glowstone. So I want that. I want a lever. And I want redstone. It's going to be a really simple on-off system. Nothing special about this system at all. But I want to be able to turn this thing on and off if needed. So I'm going to put the lever way up here. And we're going to have a little bit of a walkway going up the side of this thing. And of course, I use the very last of my dirt. So I gotta climb up here like this. So, and I'm going to the right in the middle of this. I think this is about the middle. Yep, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, this is the middle. This is where we want the lamp. And we're gonna just put some redstone over it. It's gonna go all the way to the lever. When you turn this, it'll turn the lamp on, make it light in here, and light. This sort of light will sort of disable the spawning. Now, if you have this cursed earth exposed to sunlight, it will actually turn on fire. So you don't want that, because it'll burn away and eventually disappear, and you are out of a cursed earth farm. So let's fire this thing up. So I'm going to get, let's put some of this stuff away here. I'm going to need the cobble. Let's grab a little bit of cobble. Item duct, all that stuff is good. Drop of evil, I'm going to grab one of those. And we're going to come over here, and this is the scary part, because I need the cobble ready to go. Because the mobs will start spawning almost instantly when you do this. So, and they spawn, they're tougher, they're meaner, and this thing is running. Always active, good to go. So, drop of evil, right click. Okay, and then let's cover it up. Now, launch this thing. There we go. We have now started the process. Did I set this to ignore? Yes. And we've got essence. Look at that. There's already essence in the tank. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming in already. So we've got string, bone. There's some arrows. The solidified experience, we'll do stuff with that. Lots and lots of bone. So this thing will just sit and generate essence for us. Now, if we want to turn it off, we just do that. And it should basically disable that cursed earth without destroying it. So we'd be able to walk in there. Don't worry, this is a very early game version of this. You can't really see much of it now, but we'll eventually be able to move about and kind of walk in or around there. But yeah, this essence is going to be what we're after. This is the primary reason Some of these drops are kind of a secondary reason. So a little bit less of a reason for that. So what do we do with all that essence? Well, that is the second stage of this little system. And we are going to create a mob farm where we can control which mobs are spawning in there. So if we go to mob, we want one of these mob duplicators. And we've actually got all the material that we need for this, or at least we should. So there's a tin gear. There is the machine frame. And I think we have everything we need for that. So there's the mob duplicator. Well, there's also a mod on here called Mob Grinding Utils. And this thing is awesome. Absolutely awesome. This is where the Cursed Earth comes from, is extra utilities to. Combine that with the mob grinding utils and the industrial foregoing. So this is 3 different mods all working together. It's just great. It's one big happy family. We're going to grab some stone slabs because I need some mob fans. I need at least 2 of these. 2 mob fans. We'll get to that in a second. I need one of these mob mashers. This thing is so epic. It's not cheap. Lots and lots of iron. So let's look at our iron. I might want a little bit more iron. So let me just throw some in here to smelt. So that'll just sit and smelt some iron for me. So I want a mob masher. Iron spikes. Look at how much iron this is. Just so much iron. It's crazy. We're talking like blocks of iron, and I mean it's just nuts how expensive these things are. Okay, I need 1 more iron sword. I think. Oh, I need 1 more block of iron. Yeah, lots of iron. Like a substantial amount of iron in that. All right. So we want to look at, let's see, how much cobble do we have left? 192. That's 3 stacks of cobble. That's not really enough cobble. I can look at my cobble here and go, oh, there, look at that. There's 2 more stacks of cobble right there waiting for me. That's nice. I like it. Okay. Looking in here. Let's get this built first, and then we'll see what we need after. So let's go over here. And this is going to be basically married right up against this thing. Okay, before we get to that, I want to show off this first. This bow is something I don't want in here. The bow and the spider eyes. Well, we'll leave the spider eyes alone for a little bit because I know somebody uses them for stews. But we'll be getting a ton of bows. So instead of that, we're going to take this white list and we're going to add bows to it. And we're going to say ignore metadata and ignore NBT. Regardless, it's going to take whatever bows are in there and it's going to send them out into the trash can. And there it goes. So instead of this thing filling with 1,000 different bows, it will trash them when they exceed a certain level. So let's get this thing in place. I want this mob duplicator here. I want to see what level, how big this thing is. That is a huge radius on that. So one of the things I do when I place these is I basically cut it in 1 square. So this is going to be cut in right here and right here, preventing mobs from spawning in this area. Oh, I went a little too far. So that is the perimeter. So the blocks are actually coming in. Just, you don't need that much space when you're mob farming. You just don't. And then inside here, we can put basically whatever we have a lot of. And then you do want it 3 tall. You can actually do it a little bit better. And we may do that later. And I can turn off the working area now.
I'm out.
2, 3, 4. Check the stonework factory. You may have more in there. Do we want to do this so we can spawn ghasts in here?
Oh yeah, probably.
Because we're gonna need some ghast here. So instead of 3 tall for the walls, because normally that's the height that we would make it, but that's not high enough to spawn ghasts. You can't spawn ghasts in that space. So we're gonna need to expand this. So if we think that's extended, that's the extension. This needs to be. That's the block. That's the extension. That's the piston. That is, I think it's up here that we want it. Like there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's there. So instead of making this, 3 tall inside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tall inside. Because using a piston system, you can make it either 3 tall or 4 tall. So that's really good. So putting a piston on the very end of this, pointing straight down, we'll put the piston in that block right there. And then extended will go down to here with a block, and then retracted should go put the block up there. So it's either 3 tall or 4 tall. I think that'll work. Do believe that will work. It's going to be a lot of cobble and a lot of pistons. But that's kind of why I wanted to get the cobble gen going, just because, it's useful. So let's get the first part of this, of course. So it's a much bigger structure, but it's more, it's way more diverse. You can do a whole lot more with it than normal. And then we're going to want, a mob fan, right? Not one here or here. I think here. So we're going to want a fan there. And we're going to want a fan, well, let's put the fan over here. Nope, not there. Not right there. That wasn't it. So right there. And then the mob grinder, well, that baby can go right here. Boink. And then we'll have a nice little hopper thing. Right. Oh, ow. Yeah, that hurts. Not recommend doing that. All right, so getting the structure built here. This is part of the process. And I happen to have a stairwell already made, ready to go. That combines the 2 worlds here. Because this needs to go up to there, which is there.
6 ender pearls.
All right. That's a good sign. Okay, so yeah, this is how tall we want to make this thing. Way up here. But this layer up here is temporary. Once this is placed, we'll be able to place the pistons, and then we have to take this down because of reasons.
I couldn't find the cobble gen.
It's right by the redstone furnace, in between the redstone furnace and the induction smelter. This is a very unfancy way of doing this right now. And I understand that some people are like, wow, that's the ugliest thing ever. Well, I get that. But this is early game. We're still early game. We don't have nearly the resources that we're going to need to finish this off. So I want to... No, I don't want... So let's make this part of the wall here. Yeah, we're gonna want a ceiling over the top of that. If you want to do a ceiling.
Okay.
I want
One more up or right where it ends.
Yep, right. Yeah, this is the level that we wanted at.
Okay.
Boing, boing, boing. Oh, I missed, of course.
Haha.
So that'll be a little way in. Okay. So, what do these fans do? Well, they first need a redstone signal to even run. So, that is a thing. So, let's go over here and grab some levers and then look at some upgrades that we can do. So, lever. We're going to grab a few levers. And then we're going to want some mob fan upgrades. And we're going to want 2 height modifiers. Ooh, we need feathers. Ooh, we need feathers. That's right. I forgot about the feathers.
We have some in the thing.
Yeah, there's only 2 in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, feathers. I forgot about feathers. I think you've been using them for arrows this whole time.
I has been.
So we are just out of feathers. But going forward here, let's look at the luck. We can do 10 of these, which is absolutely beautiful. I love that we can use this. Let's look at how many nuggets we have. Oh yeah, we're gonna need some more nuggets. Let's get some of those. Where is it? There it is. And let's look at lapis. We got 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of those. Let's reconvert all this lapis back into regular stuff. And we're going to want sharpness. This will just kill them faster. Again, lots and lots of iron. Just the amount of iron that this build consumes is impressive. But this will actually kill them a little faster. So yeah, we're going to need we're going to need at least 2 stacks of feathers. At least 2 stacks of feathers to finish this off. So we might have to go out, grab a chicken, and just spawn chickens in there and just kill chickens. I mean, that's sad, but kind of all we have to do. So eventually you're going to want this beheading one too, but iron helmets and gold helmet, that's, again, a lot. That's 20 iron helmets, 20 gold helmets. That's a lot. It's a lot of materials. So the mob masher. So we need 40 swords. Let's look at nuggets again. It's amazing how much gold and stuff we go through. So if we look at iron, we got a good amount of iron. So let's see if we have the ability to make 40. I would like the sharpness because it just kills them faster and it's nice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's a lot of iron swords. So I'm kind of keeping my eye on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is the 40 iron swords that we need for the sharpness upgrade 10 of those. Bingo. 10 of those. Nice. So yeah, we're going to need lots and lots of feathers. I'm kind of bummed that we don't have the feathers to finish this off. But these upgrades can go in the mob masher itself. You can see the little icons here. So there's the looting and there is the sharpness. The beheading go here, and that's pretty much all I put in here. We don't really need much else besides the beheading. And then the mob fans, by default, I think they have basically a 1x1 like right in front of it, and it only goes about 4 blocks. So this fan, unupgraded, would only push things about right to here. Well, obviously we want them to push them right into there. And then this one, again, it's only 1 width. So this one we're going to want to max out on width. So if we look at the width, max of 3. Well, that just happens to be exactly the size of this room, which is why I made it this big. So max of 3, so we're going to make this wide, and then I'll put 1 height modifier in there, which goes and makes it this whole volume, which covers the top and the bottom, and then pushes the mobs just fine. Good times. This one down here doesn't need any width modifiers. This one just needs the height. So I just want 1 height in this, and then, like, I don't know, 3 distance, probably. 3 or 4 distance modifiers to make sure it pushes it into there. And then this one gets probably 3 or 4 distance and 3 width and 1 height. So this will be the most upgraded mob fan here with the most stuff in it, but it'll work really well. We need to go hunt some feathers so we can finish this off. So next episode, stay tuned for that. We will be finishing this off and showing how glorious this process is once we get there. And the tank is almost half full of essence. And look, we got 2 more feathers. That's nice. Lots of string, lots of arrows. Holy cow, almost 2 stacks of arrows in there. And 8 ender pearls. I'm going to take those. Those are good. Let's see. Pretty much everything else we can leave in there for now. Got a couple potatoes, which is nice.
Taters.
We hadn't found them yet. Potatoes, it's not as glorious as finding potatoes when you're in 7 Days to Die, that's for sure. But that'll have to do it for this episode. And I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.